And finally, making carbon less attractive.
To deal with all of this, it is obvious that we must tackle the issue of carbon price. We must price carbon, a carbon price and a carbon tax, which could be the revenues from which can be used for supporting R&D in renewables, supporting special incentive packets for financing renewable energy projects will be critical. If we don't have a good price on carbon, it's going to be tough.
Host country Mexico shares many of the world's issues about renewables. Its most important staple is maize, and there'd be trouble if maize for fuel alcohol overwhelmed maize for food. Its cities have the same pollution problems as many others. Once a big oil exporter, its richest fields are dwindling, and some analysts say in 5 years Mexico could become an oil importer. Against that background, the government has set up an array of legal frameworks, incentives, and government programs and support initiatives for going green. Richly endowed with renewables potential, Mexico is already third in the world in geothermal energy and has plenty of wind and sun. In the last few years, it has gone from 2% alternative energy to 8%.
Las grandes hidroeléctricas, México, al terminar mi administración, tendrá el 26% de energía generada a través de energía renovable.
Here's a second-generation biomass project still in its infancy. Jatropha curcas, hardy and inedible, no risk of it crowding out maize. Poison seeds break down into diesel.
We're against competing with any food source, and actually we're establishing our farms in land that will never be usable for food crops.
And now the third biomass generation, ethanol from algae. Sergio Ramirez says it has all the advantages of existing technologies and none of the disadvantages.
Pongo un ejemplo, las tecnologías tradicionales, es decir, producir a partir de maíz o de caña, necesitan tierra cultivable. Nosotros no necesitamos tierra cultivable. 2, necesitan agua dulce. Nosotros necesitamos agua salada. 3, emiten más CO2 del que terminan inhibiendo. Nosotros captamos grandes cantidades de CO2 durante el proceso.
Don't celebrate yet, says Melinda Kimball of the UN Foundation.
And when we have oil running at $70 a barrel, it's very hard to find competitive products. I would say ethanol from sugarcane has shown the most economic sustainability under any test that we've seen.
The Mexican government is also giving a push to power spun out of the wind. This 1.5 megawatt aerogenerator is bound for a big new wind farm in Oaxaca.
Y es una solución fundamental en la lucha contra el cambio climático, precisamente por estas características, porque es fácil de instalar, rápido de instalar y puede reemplazar perfectamente a cualquier otra tecnología de generación eléctrica.
We know that Mexico will lead in the area of wind energy, probably reaching 2,500 megawatts soon, thanks to the leadership of the president. Question: will Mexico also be a major manufacturer of the components? That's what we see happening in Asia. You can have green solutions, but you need green jobs as well. Can the solutions also help countries grow? Can the solutions create wealth and opportunity in countries? It's not just selling technologies.
10 minutes walk from the conference, green technology is paying off for Jose Jimenez in the heart of the Mexican diet, tortillas. Used heat from tortilla baking is shifted to the back of the system where it preheats the maize. That shortens baking time and allows Jimenez to sell his tortillas for 7 pesos a kilo, 2 pesos less than the competition. Cooking is much neglected in the green debate, says the UN Development Programme's Susan McDade. Billions of women have to waste their days and their health gathering wood and breathing smoke for lack of a suitable stove.
Frankly, the business sector needs to look at it as an opportunity. If I was selling toothpaste and there were 2 billion people, or 3 billion people by some estimates, that didn't have toothpaste, I would see a market. Why doesn't the private sector see a market in over 2 billion people cooking on unhealthy, unsustainable, and in some cases expensive biomass?
Opportunities were just around the corner at this conference, a special place for matchmaking between people looking for someone they could do business with. Philip Chang, Cosmo Electronics Taiwan, was offering small wind turbines.
We flew all the way from Taipei. We met a couple people here today, this morning. Some government, from state governments, and some private companies. I'm hoping this could lead to some good, business opportunities.
No theory here, just action, with more to come.
I was asked by somebody this morning, Dr. Yumkela, when are you going to have the next conference? And I said, well, 2010, I don't want to have another conference. 2010, I want you and us to begin to design the programs, to design the solutions that we take to communities. 2010 should be for action.